Christina, I think that we've reached the end of our hustle presentation. I want to thank you for assisting me with the taping. It's been fun working this out with you and presenting it on the tape.
Yes, it has been very fun, and I feel we've learned a lot from it also.
Good. Okay. You know, I hope that there's going to be some dancers on the other side of that camera who are going to view the tape and get some benefit from it, and perhaps enjoy the dancing on it as much as we have. We dance the hustle a lot in the fine discos here in Fort Lauderdale. In fact, there's so many of them. They seem endless. There's Pete and Lenny's in Uptown, Studio 51, Bachelor's 3. You know, the taping that we've done today, it's been all like straight hustle dancing, and yet we recognize in the last year, a year and a half, there's certainly been a lot of adagio and lifts and acrobatics in the dancing. We're all aware of that. And that seems to be, however, more in competitions and in dance exhibitions. You know, when we go dancing, it generally is in the clubs, and there's maybe 5, 10 couples around us, and we're certainly not going to be getting into acrobatics then. We do our straight hustle dancing. So, although we recognize there's a lot of room for this adagio and everything, if one is concentrating on routine dancing for shows or training students, which we do for competition, yet the most of our dancing is in the straight hustle dancing. Well, I guess just before we wrap it up, Christina, you know, you're an intelligent girl, and you've always got such good comments about the dancing, and here I've been doing all this talking all the time and haven't given you a chance to say anything. I'm sure you've got some ideas of your own. Why don't you give us your impression or your views about the 3-count hustle? What do you think about it?
Well, Jim, I feel like the 3-count hustle has really reached its ultimate goal. The rhythm's down pat now, it's standardized, and you have a basic step you can always rely on. Nowadays, you can go to a disco and you can dance with anybody there that knows how to dance. Where before, it was that you had to have your own partner, and you had to have a routine worked out with them to really enjoy dancing in a spot like this. So I'm really thrilled with the 3-count hustle as it is now.
Oh, that's good, yes. Do you find that in going out you're doing any 4-count hustle, if I may ask you that?
Well, actually, I found very little.
Very little.
Sometimes in your complicated steps you will come up with a 4-count because it seems like you're doing so much intricate handwork that you really don't want to do the syncopation on the 3-count.
Yeah, we made quite an issue.
Find it very little.
We made quite an issue of the 4-count hustle today and the teaching tool and all that, but what are your thoughts? I mean...
For teaching, it's excellent.
It is.
It's unbeatable for teaching. But as far as your dancing in the nightclubs, I prefer the 3-count. I'm sure that everyone else does too.
And of course we
But for the learning aspect, it is best for the 4-count.
Yeah, we never do the 4-count. Yet we recognize that it has its place as a teaching tool, surely. Okay, how about another thing? Let's see. What's your opinion of the growth of freestyle dancing in the nightclubs? We've certainly seen so much of that lately. I'd say in the last year, more than ever, that's for sure. Now, what's your opinion? What do you think has made that grow so much?
Well, it's really hard to say, but in my opinion, other than just natural trends of wanting variety and change, I feel that the freestyle is coming in because of our limit of space on the floors, because hustle is very popular nowadays, and everyone likes to get up and dance. And our floors are very crowded. So now with the freestyle, you can do it right there in place. And you don't require all this excess room as you do in the 3-count.
That probably is that's probably a better reason than what I was thinking of. I was thinking in terms of the fact that since the 3-count hustle has come in and has been around now for 2 years or so, the dancing has become more and more refined and more difficult and tricky. And the dancers that are out there on the floor doing these 3-count hustle steps are doing the most wonderful routines and steps and turns and all sorts of things. And I wonder if it doesn't turn off the average dancer who says, boy, I can't cope with that. I better off just do this freestyle dancing. You know, just 2 or 3 years ago, a person could do this, and heck, they were doing the hustle, and they'd have a lot of fun with it, but gee, you just can't do that anymore. You got to go into all these fancy steps. And I wonder if that doesn't turn off some of the people. Besides, in the last year and a half, we've seen the tempo of the music increase quite a bit, and that makes it even more difficult to do these steps. So this doesn't mean because people are doing more freestyle that means the hustle is out. On the contrary, I think maybe only 5 or 10%. Like when we go to a club with our friends and our students, and we're dancing up a storm, we do this hustle, we have a lot of fun with it, and maybe we only represent 5% or less of all the dancers, but that's a lot of people, 5% of millions, that's our students, and as long as they keep on playing disco music, we can dance our hustle. The only thing that could knock it out is if they go back to rock and roll, but disco seems pretty strong. In fact, I read the other day, WHOM in New York went from 20th in the ratings to first in the ratings in New York City, an FM station playing straight disco. So all they play, and they went from 20th to first, the most successful station in New York. And in spite of what they tell me about New York, everybody's doing freestyle. Maybe there's a peculiar reason for that up there, but I understand a lot of people up there are still doing hustle, that's for sure. Okay. Well, Christina, I guess that just about wraps up our taping. I think that I'll borrow a closing statement that I used to make when I was working clubs and resorts. On behalf of Christina and myself, I'd like to say good night and good dancing.